If you see this big bird, it's a sign that you're gonna die real soon.
In case you pass out, that's tough.
The world of atomic horror was overpopulated with a wide variety of creature designs. Some would become iconic for their appeal and quality of their films, like Gort. However, some monsters would become icons for all the wrong reasons. Today's film will show us a creature so infamous that its very face is synonymous with schlocky B-movies. This is 1957's The Giant Claw. Several airborne attacks are committed by an unknown force, but nothing is picked up on radar, so nobody takes it seriously.
Nothing in the sky for a radius of hundreds of miles.
Even after a pilot goes missing, this guy thinks it's some kind of joke.
Nevertheless, you persisted with your little joke.
Easy now, Bergen.
You continued to yell wolf until somebody pushed the panic button and scrambled a flight of interceptors.
Really? Someone's missing. You're not gonna investigate?
Joke. False alarm.
It's discovered that the one behind the attacks is a vicious giant bird, and it's up to our heroes to put a stop to it.
There's some sort of bird, all right. There's no question of that.
At first, you wouldn't think this movie is bad. Visually, it doesn't have the flat, cheap look you expect from a B-movie. The dialogue is well written and snappy too, with characters having great chemistry.
Speaking of baseball and left field, somebody warned me that you make up your own rules.
Whoever said that's no friend of mine.
But he's a friend of mine.
Sabotage.
Oh, much too dramatic.
And Jeff Morrow is acting his heart out as our main hero, Mitch McAfee.
I spotted a UFO, I reported it. Does that make me a criminal, a traitor to my country, or some kind of a psychopath? I'm not criticizing either of you, or the Air Force, or those guys who just died trying to shoot that thing down. I'm not being flippant, I'm not wisecracking. I'm just scared. We all are, I guess.
The supporting cast can be a bit stiff, but that's to be expected for the time. Overall, everything seems decent, but all good things must come to an end, because eventually, you'll see it. The bird. What the hell is this? The Giant Claw itself is possibly the most infamous movie monster of all time. They had to be embarrassed of this one, making sure not to show its face in the poster and waiting quite some time to reveal it. The bird first appears as a flying meatball, a random clump zooming across the screen. You can't quite tell what it's supposed to look like. The characters can't seem to figure it out either, always describing it as a battleship.
Something as big as a battleship.
A bird as big as a battleship.
A bird as big as a battleship.
We're hitting a battleship with a slingshot.
Flying battleship. Flying battleship.
Flying battleship.
Flying battleship.
Flying battleship. Flying battleship.
I said it looked like a battleship, not that it was a battleship.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. A battleship. At one point, it's even compared to having the face of a wolf and the body of a woman.
The face of the wolf and the body of the woman with wings.
You've got to be kidding me.
Mitch, I sure enough saw something like a cloud. Only was moving too fast for any cloud.
Like some sort of reverse Midas touch, it's all downhill once the Giant Claw appears. Suddenly, all logic is thrown out the window, the acting gets worse, clips get reused, and there's a fly buzzing around the set that nobody took care of. The bird is cursed. What were they thinking?
Kill it.
Since it won't show up on radar, we need to find out where the Giant Claw will strike next. Luckily, Mitch has an airtight theory. The attacks form a pattern. Of course, it's so obvious.
A pattern.
That's the funniest shit I've ever seen. What sort of logic is that? Who would possibly guess that this is the pattern?
Something in the air flew a pattern like that?
Yeah.
The Giant Claw must be destroyed, but unfortunately nothing seems to work. Now, go ahead and take a guess as to why. I'll give you some time, 5 seconds. I'm serious, think of something.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If you guessed, the bird can't be killed because it's actually an alien bird from a far-off galaxy that possesses the power of an antimatter shield, of which it selectively alters in order to use its claws and wings to attack, as it absorbs energy from that which it destroys, only making it stronger with every encounter, then you'd be right.
But the bird unquestionably radiates some sort of force, an energy screen, some invisible barrier. And that energy screen is antimatter.
If that's not the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Oh, well now, Mitch, be reasonable.
Eventually, a way past the antimatter shield is discovered, don't ask how, and the rampaging monster is destroyed, ending the terror of the giant claw. It was certainly as big as a battleship. This movie is hilarious.
Well, that makes me chief cook and bottle washer in a one-man birdwatcher society.
Mr. McAfee, this is vitally important.
The giant claw has a bad reputation, and the titular monster is all to blame. Before it's fully revealed, the worst thing you see is some incredibly fake blood. Once the giant claw shows up, you can't take it seriously anymore.
It's one of those cockeyed concepts that you pull down out of Cloud 8 somewhere in sheer desperation.
Originally released as a double feature with The Night the World Exploded, I wonder what that one's about, initial reviews were largely negative. It really says something that this movie was considered bad in the same decade that gave us Robot Monster.
There is no escape from me.
Recently, though, the movie has gained some appreciation. A review from AllMovie states, "The Giant Claw has a terrible reputation that isn't entirely deserved. To be sure, producer Sam Katzman opted for the cheapest, worst-looking monster that one could imagine, a ridiculous-looking giant bird puppet that makes the movie seem ludicrous. But except for those moments when the title monster is on the screen, the movie isn't bad. So for the first 27 minutes, until it appears for the first time and evokes its first rounds of laughter, the picture is working just fine within the confines of its budget, script, and cast." I couldn't have said it better myself. The Giant Claw is a cautionary tale in cutting corners. Perhaps, if the bird wasn't so cheap, we'd have a classic on our hands. But, since it was, the only classic it can be is cult.
Pleasant nightmares, friends. Good midnight to you.